Hey you! Yeah, you! Have you noticed yourself becoming increasingly stressed with the holiday season fast approaching?
This wouldn't happen if Trump was president. Thanks, Obama.
Do you suffer from feeling nihilistic? Like the world's never going to get better?
Give her four.
Get the wheels on the bus! Way to go, Paul!
Do you sense the coming doom of kindness and good-heartedness in general? Well, we may have just the thing for you.
What is up, everybody? Hope you're having a great day. Time to talk about the new movie that just dropped the same weekend as Justice League, and that is Wonder. It stars Jacob Tremblay, who you know from Room, who is playing a kid who's born with a facial deformity. He's been homeschooled his entire life by his mother, played by Julia Roberts. His father, Owen Wilson, is wanting him to try to branch out more, and they both decide that it's time to put him into an actual school. And because he's never been around school, around kids in general, he definitely has some obstacles to overcome. The struggles of feeling like an outsider, to feeling like you're a freak, to feeling like you just don't fit in. Those are the things that Augie is going to have to go through for this movie, and it ends up being one of the most positive films that I've seen in a long time. So first, let's talk about Jacob Tremblay's performance as Augie. He did a great job in this movie. He was definitely believable. He did have a lot of prosthetics on his face, albeit it was still a very great performance. This kid is going places. I mean, when we first saw him in Room, it was such a captivating performance, and he just felt so real that seeing him in this movie, he's just as good. Also, I really like the story structure of the film. It doesn't just focus solely on Augie. It also follows his sister's perspective, being the older sibling. She's also going through difficulties, she's also having problems, but she puts that away because she's trying to help the family and help with his little brother that she wished for as a kid. It also follows the perspective of one of Augie's friends that he meets in school. It doesn't just focus solely on Augie, and that's one of the cool parts of the movie. I really liked how they structured this story and how the narrative went through different people. Everybody who's met Augie in this film has something that they can tie to with him, and that's how the narrative follows through, with him at the center and then focusing on these stories that are surrounding him with these characters. And again, the positivity in this movie, I mean, sometimes I felt like the Grinch when his heart was small and started growing at the end of the Ron Howard movie. It's a feel-good movie. It is up and down as far as your emotions go. You're gonna have a lump in your throat through a lot of the movie. It has a great message of just anti-bullying, about being accepted as a kid, a message about people with disabilities and how you behave with that. The all-encompassing message of this movie, I would say, is to be kind, and that's something that just, it doesn't really show up in movies very often, and when it does, you have to shine a light on it, because when things just seem to get more and more dark and a little bit more dreary, when it's like the news always having depressing stories, with just the things that are happening in Hollywood even, it's one of those messages that just, it brings a conversation for being kind. Just overall, a great message. If there are any issues that I have with the movie, I would say between the parents with Owen Wilson and Julia Roberts, they really just don't go anywhere in the film. I mean, there is a side story with Julia Roberts trying to get back into her career, but Owen Wilson basically just does nothing. He's just playing video games with the kids and giving a little bit of one-liners throughout the movie. I wish there was a little bit more between the two. That would have made this a little bit more of an Oscar caliber film. They had me through the first and second act with just really being invested in these characters and the stories that they're going through, but when it hit the third act and the ending started coming in, it became a little bit too photo finish is the best way to put it. And I'm not saying every story needs to have a realistic ending, but I feel like in this, when they kept layering on each moment with Augie's character towards the end, it didn't feel natural anymore. It felt like they were just putting in a lot of positivity that wasn't as earned as what it was in the first and second act. Overall though, I had a really good time watching this movie. It put me through the ringer of just having that lump in my throat and just wanting to cry about stuff. Seeing Jacob Tremblay as this character, I really loved the character itself. They had a lot of great Star Wars references. They had a lot of pop culture references that I really dug. The narrative is great. I think all of the actors are really good, aside from the parents' story arcs just that weren't really there. Definitely recommend going and check this out if you want to just have a good time in the movie. I'm gonna give Wonder a 7.5 out of 10. So guys, what did you think of Wonder? Whatever you thought, leave a comment down below. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share it to a friend that loves movies. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you at the next review.